Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
Oh, and we're back talking about Beethoven's Second. He wrote another symphony, and they made a movie about it. And apparently Beethoven's played by a dog.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're really going wild with Beethoven's life story here. I don't know if he ever, wore a leash. I don't think that's what he did. Anyways, we're back for Beethoven's Second. And we're excited to be here this week. We have a special guest with us, one of the shining stars of Beethoven's Second. Kasey Truman is here with us. Kasey, thanks for being here.
What is up? Great to be here.
Yes. Just for those who don't know Kasey, she's also a music supervisor on several projects. And I remember like a long time ago, I don't remember what we were even talking about, but you had brought up that you were an extra, a child extra in the film Beethoven's Second. And so I was like, oh my God, got to bring her on, talk about her experience.
Oh man, full circle. It's really come full circle.
Yeah, hopefully we cleared this interview with your publicist. So
that's right. We only assume because in the first film, another credited child extra was Joseph Gordon-Levitt in his first screen role. So you're in rarefied company.
That's right.
You and JGL.
No, you can see really how my acting career took off from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in Inception. I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
There was that secret fifth layer.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. Well, before we dive into the movie here, Eliz, where can people reach out to us this week?
Yeah, send us an email with your questions and comments to sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the podcast, and we really appreciate it. We wish that you could give it 8 stars for how many Beethoven films there are in this series, but unfortunately, you can only give 5.
Yes, we're just at the very start of a long journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's check off another dog film here with Beethoven's Second. Here we go.
Universal Pictures and Ivan Reitman proudly present the greatest screen lovers of all time. Beethoven and Missy. All the secret longing, all the sentimental journeys, the shared desires, and sweet surprises. The kind of love that leads to only one thing.
Puppy! Little Beethoven.
Don't tell your dad.
No. Do you think I'm crazy?
I love that. Last week we played this one where it listed out all the famous dogs, and then I thought this one was going to list out all these famous
like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny though. So this movie came out in 1993, right? And it's a Universal film. And I don't know if you guys recall, but in 1993 there was another pretty major movie out that year. And I got to play this other trailer I found that Universal very quickly capitalized on the success of. I think you'll know what movie we're talking about. Here we go.
Here, in this private house, something's coming. Something huge. And peace and quiet is about to become a thing of the past. America's biggest dog star is back.
I don't know. So, Eliz, you looked kind of like, do you know what movie that was referencing?
No.
Tyler, you know?
Oh, it's 100% Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Jurassic Park.
Your own
I see what you're
private.
saying. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant that it was a trailer for some other movie. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
It was that Universal was just like, hey, like you've already seen Jurassic Park 3 times. Like, why don't we use the popularity of that movie
Yeah.
to go make you go see
got
Beethoven?
it, got it.
Here's
I
our
was trying to
giant
think some
dog
Other
movie.
movie with a dog.
Oh no, yeah.
And I'm like, the same song? Like, what is happening here?
I know. Well, the whole thing is like, if you actually watch it online, they've got like the shaking glass of water.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it just sounds like the start of Jurassic Park.
Right.
Pretty funny.
I mean, Universal must have had a crazy year because this movie apparently did $118 million off a $15 million budget,
Yeah.
which is why there's 8 of these movies.
They continue.
We'll talk
to-
about it,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
Oscar nominated.
What? Oh, man.
Yeah.
For the song?
Yeah.
For that goddamn song.
We'll go into it more.
Yeah, so this one, comes out pretty fast. 1993. I was like, the young kids look about the same. Only Rice has grown.
Fast enough where the kids do not age, but puppies still grow up,
That's right.
as does Beethoven age.
And we get a new director this time around, Rod Daniel, who had previously directed Teen Wolf and would go on to direct Home Alone 4, I believe, right?
Ah,
In the future.
I have a feeling
Is that
this.
the one with Debbie Mazar?
I think so.
I think it might be. I have a feeling that we're gonna have this is gonna have the most synergy with sequel rights franchises, like just by the sheer volume of movies and the type of movies. Like already, like Brian Levant directing the last one had already crossed over from like 4 or 5 movies for us. So.
Yeah. Pretty
Love
nuts.
Universal
Oh man.
so much. Universal 1440.
40.
I mean, we're not there yet. We're still theatrical. So anyway,
Mhm. Well, this movie is very like at the start, like Beethoven gets to have his own life.
Yeah.
This whole movie, he's kind of like, you know what?
Totally.
Yeah, I'm done with the people. I helped out the people. I wanna live my own life. Go out and discover love.
he still helps them.
He does.
Oh yeah.
Well, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we get a lot of POV shots of him running around. It's like a kind of a reprise of that little Benji tour around the city. And he kind of goes out and there's the bit again of him eating Charles Grodin's breakfast food. And Charles Grodin is again trying to they need a loan for their air freshener business again. It's like that. That's what people want to know is like that he always needs this business deal to come through.
That's right. Still on that.
Need a
air freshener
Newton,
train.
right?
right.
It's a Newton.
Yes.
Yeah, you need a
Newton?
Newton air freshener. You think
Throw
there's enough
Newton in
soccer
it.
players? You think there's enough soccer players for to have their own air freshener? Is a question that he asks intrepidly in this movie.
I think this one I remembered a lot more than the first one. I don't know why. I guess I saw it more times. And I did remember that he was trying to sell everyone on the idea that you would throw an air freshener into various bags and containers. And I was like, no.
I don't think
Even
that
as
would
a
work.
child, I was like, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
I don't remember this one quite as much.
No, there's a lot of blind spots for me in this
Oh
one.
God.
Yeah, I don't know
remembered a
why.
lot.
But so Kasey, you were in this movie, but had you seen it when it came out? Were you a big fan?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, about my appearance, if you blink, then you'll miss it. So just keep the eyes peeled. And my dad's actually in it. He's in it a little more than I am.
Oh, really?
Which is great. He wore so the stuff that we were in was at the ranch. I think it was at the Disney Ranch. They filmed that, and it was all the dog eating, like the carnival.
I think I spotted you. I was like certain, like I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, I think that's Kasey. Like,
yeah, I'm behind the family when they're eating.
Right.
And then there's like 2 kids that get up and like talk shit, and I'm right next to the kid. And then my dad is in a pink. He got away with a pink polo shirt, so he stands out all the time, which is great.
That's exactly who I thought you were. So that's amazing.
You nailed it, dude.
I found it.
You nailed it. It was really weird watching it because I was 13, I think 12 or 13 when we were filming that. And so I haven't watched it since then.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm a little bit older. And I wonder how many times I watched that film when I was little, because it just brought me back. It felt like a song, and I was like in it. I remembered, like what Liz is saying, like I remembered so much about it, and just like even music and lines, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I think it was just very impactful for me, you know, just being a 12 or 13-year-old and being on a movie set and doing that. And also, which I don't know if you know, Justin, so another part of my experience with that is I also got to work like on the second unit, which is, do you know what the second unit does?
Yeah.
So
Well, why don't you explain it for the people who are listening who might not?
Well, for at least my limited knowledge, a second unit is not dealing with actual dialogue of the main actors. So the shots that Tyler, you were saying of like, you know, the dog, like the POV of like running through, then that would be second unit stuff, right? And picking up all those things. So one of the producers, this guy, Danny Goldberg, was in charge of second unit, and he just like, the reason I got on the film was because I knew my dad was dating a woman who was a stand-in, and then she knew one of the producers. So that's why I was there.
Nice.
And then this other producer was just like, I need help. I want you to be my PA. So he like literally gave me a walkie-talkie, and I was, you know, this 13-year-old telling all these adults like where to go.
Amazing.
on the shots and everything. So I had no idea what I was doing, but figured it out. So I would do that. And then also I just got to go and play with the puppies. Like I would just go into the trailer, like the big trailer, and just play with puppies whenever I wanted. And then I was on the shoot. But so all that to say, it was really impactful on, I know it was my first movie set. And as a kid, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And celebrities and Chris Castile and Nicole Tom, like oh my gosh. So to see the film again was very surreal, and just how much I really remembered. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, I didn't know you were like, that second unit thing. That's so cool that they would just, you know, like ask you to do that.
Yeah, so crazy. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
And the oh yeah, go ahead, Eliz.
I was gonna say basically the movie would not have been able to be completed without you.
No, I mean I think that's pretty clear.
You're setting them straight on that walkie. You're like, no, you're on the wrong channel. Go to 2, and then you go over there.
Oh yeah. 10-4, roger that, over and out. Yeah, I got trained up for sure.
That's so cool.
And obviously felt so cool having a walkie-talkie. I mean, what?
Yeah, of course. Telling adults what to do? Come on.
So if you're seeing
like
like behind the scene puppies, like there's 4 puppies in the movie, like how was there just a trailer full of puppies?
Yeah, I think there were probably like 8 to 12.
Wow.
And then they would always have to kind of rotate them out because they grow, of course.
Yep.
So yeah. And the in that scene too, which I realized when watching it last night, so the dog trainers in the scene where they're eating the hamburger contest, the women who hand the burgers, those are the actual dog trainers.
Yeah.
They're the inside tip.
Movie magic.
What? Yeah. But yeah, so they're just a trailer just of a ton of puppies.
Yeah, I can imagine because there's like distinct puppies in this too. There's like the fat light one and the one with the mohawk. Even though
you will use their names.
Yeah, sometimes you could tell the mohawk was straight on, just glued onto his head. But yes, right. Chubby, Mo, and I don't know.
Dolly,
there wasn't really anything.
Dolly and
I think
Tchaikovsky.
Dolly and Tchaikovsky could have really been any of them. Just put the bow on, and then the other one is Tchaikovsky.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Which was
spray
like
painting.
Weird to me of how much like when Beethoven meets what's the Lady St. Bernard's? Yeah.
Missy.
It's like why does this dog need to have like a full pink bow on its head and like from a divorced single guy, and it's just like were people really concerned about like that like Beethoven
tell them apart?
Yeah. We're just like, oh man, like we got to make sure that it's a lady dog because otherwise this would be weird for children.
Yeah.
But like she's so much differently colored than Beethoven. Like she almost looks like she might be a mix of something else with St. Bernard. But
well, no, the janitor says they're purebreds, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
The janitor.
Yeah, she has short hair. Her hair is a lot shorter. I wonder if that's a breed type or if that is if they cut it. I would guess a breed type. Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, probably.
Fact find. Do you guys do like a fact check?
We say we do.
Everywhere- yeah, like online there it specifically says like a short-haired Saint Bernard played Missy, but it wasn't clear to me, like if that was a scientific thing or just that she
That's the way she liked to add the style.
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, the bow makes it clear in case you're
in
case you're colorblind.
Thank goodness.
Hold up a minute.
Or shade blindness. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. So
yeah, they meet. It's like love at first sight in the park.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It happens so fast, like it was meant to be.
But they spend some time together.
That's true.
They do.
That's true. They share some ice cream.
Yeah, right. It was love at first sight, but then I do feel like they developed their relationship on adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gets taken by the wife in the divorce. Classic villain for some reason, Debbie Mazar. Like, I just wonder, like, you think like when she started acting, people were just like, you look like a villain, and that, your face just says villain to me, and that's all we're gonna use you for forever. Like,
icy, those eyes. Her eyes
I
are so
know.
piercing and icy. Oh man,
She's so funny.
of course, it has to do with the styling as well. I liked her her cavalcade of backless jumpsuits.
Yeah.
It was very stylish.
cavalcade.
I loved how Justin, I just forgot, is Kevin Dunn is her soon to be ex-husband, and is he an ice cream vendor? Is that what he is?
No.
No, I think he's just buying ice cream.
Buying ice cream.
I see.
We're done with ice cream vendors, Tyler. That's the wrong franchise.
The point being is that their relationship never made, like, it didn't seem like that they, like, how they ever came together.
Yeah.
Kevin Dunn and Debbie Mazar were just like, okay, and now she's dating Chris Penn, who is just eating throughout this entire movie, and it's like, if you're somebody who gets annoyed by having people eat on mic or on camera, this movie is not for you. I am one of those people, and there's so many scenes of just close-up people just chomping, and I'm just like, oh.
No, I mean, I think she definitely has a type of like these schlubby guys that she can push around.
Fair enough.
I totally was like, at the start, like, I was like, is this her new boyfriend or just like some goon that she has?
Yeah.
Because it was not clear that they were dating until he was like going to take a shower at her place or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the divorce attorney gave her a goon.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. He was very goon-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't care about Misty. She just wants her to stick it to the ex-husband, to use her as a bargaining chip, basically. And then, so Beethoven finds their fancy apartment and I guess impregnates her at some point.
Yeah. 10 weeks.
I don't know why they didn't just run away then. If Missy can jump over the thing, then just run away to Beethoven's house. Why keep coming back there every night? Like,
yeah.
But I love when the janitor shows up at their door to like be like, hey, I found your dog. She's sleeping down in the storage room. And she's like, great. And just slams the door on him. Now we know where she is. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, there's kind of like a time jump there, right? All of a sudden, it's like 10 weeks later, and she's got puppies. Oh my God, puppies!
Yeah, this movie.
The little kids follow Beethoven to discover the puppies, but wait, I don't want to gloss over
the parallel
Rice's,
love story.
What? The parallel love story. Yeah, Rice and who is what? Can't be more than 14 at this point, maybe, and a dude that looks like he's 24.
Yeah.
And I really did throughout the course of this movie. I liked Charles Grodin's relationship with Rice as a dad, because he's not like those kind of dads that piss you off in old movies where he's like, oh, my daughter, blah, blah, blah. He's very just kind of like, okay, do your thing. I'm just gonna sit back, and I'm obviously uncomfortable, but I'm not going to like make this gross the way so many movie dads do.
Yeah, he only makes it gross in the way where it seems like he's attracted to him as well.
It's not so much attractive. He's just like, why does this guy from high school look like he's 25 and right off the set of Days or something? Like he's like he's cookie cutter magazine model guy.
I think he says like that's the most attractive kid I've ever seen.
Yeah, he does say that. Yes. And he's like in a daze the whole time, like, huh? What?
Yeah, and then this kid like takes presumably her first kiss and then does not talk to her for the 10 weeks in which Missy is pregnant and birthing the baby puppies.
I was like, is he just going around collecting people's first kisses or something? Like, what is he?
D-bag.
Yeah, what is he doing?
He's an ancient demon as old as time.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
as witnessed by the scream that he makes when he falls out of the lake house.
Oh my God. We'll get to that. That was like, yeah, that almost
anyway,
made me.
I just didn't want to gloss over that.
And that's George Hamilton's son. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that, but that's amazing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a handsome dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah,
Charles
back to
Grodin
the
wasn't
babies.
wrong.
Yeah. The little kids discover the babies and they whisk them away before what's her face can sell them.
Yes.
I love the scene when they're pretending to be selling candy bars for some charity, and she's like,
$11.
Yeah, how much are they? I think like Emily is her name, right? The youngest one. She's like the VIP in this movie again too. Her all of her looks that she has when she's like, talking to her dad or I think she's the one who ends up naming all the dogs, even though they're all kind of like coming up with ideas together.
I mean, really, this kid should be a police detective because somehow she always just happens to be around when people are like revealing their evil
secrets
plots and like she's able to perceive like, what's going on.
She's on top of it. Yeah. So funny.
All right. So yeah, with they try to get those puppies away. And there's a full other subplot comes in where like now we're going to a cabin.
Yeah.
That comes in about what, like the 30-minute mark, or it's just like, we're broke because I can't get a bank to like me, but we can afford to go to this lake house for free.
Yeah. The Serbiak's lake house
cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that, originally they're like, well, Mr. Serbiak was a little hesitant because he knew we had a dog, but our dog's fine, right? And then later on, when they now suddenly have 5 dogs, they're like, nah, let's still go. They don't even bring it up like, you think he's going to be even more mad now that we're bringing 5 dogs? No, I think it's fine. And they're puppies, untrained? No problem.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll be great.
I love there's like a little montage of the kids decide that they're all gonna like take care of the puppies themselves and keep them in the basement. And there's this fun montage of them like falling asleep at school and like running home and these hilarious little scenes where like one of the puppies is like always at the top of the stairs, like trying to come out. I'm gonna go into the rest of the house. And then someone's always like shutting the door, like, get out of here.
I mean, they find out that you have to feed these puppies through an eyedropper 6 to 8 times per day.
Yeah.
So they're getting no sleep and they're taking shifts, but it's not working great. And they're all falling asleep at school, which to me is like horrifying at that level. In high school, I probably fell asleep, but not in elementary school. God, you'd call the parents and be like, are you abusing your child? If your first grader is falling asleep on her desk, like that's horrible.
Yeah. The principal does. I was like, the principal doesn't call until after she's missed like 8 classes or whatever.
And they only call for the older girl. No one says anything about the 2 younger kids.
I was like, is this where that shared dream of missing classes comes from? Is like this like she hasn't been in class for weeks, and it's I have that dream. I'm so terrified of that happening, even though I haven't been in school for a decade. And I was like, oh, is that where this comes from?
Oh my God!
That fear.
Wait a minute. So you have the dream where you miss the classes and then you don't get credit and then you don't graduate situation?
Yeah.
Dude, same. Why?
It's just like, wait, like I can't even remember the last time I went to environmental sciences. Like, what have I been doing?
Right. What is that?
Classic.
Oh my God.
I have no idea.
Classic.
I was like, maybe it came from this movie. I don't know.
Wow. That could explain a lot for me.
But it is funny when the mom, when Bonnie Hunt, America's mom, as Ela's dubbed her, confronts her daughter about it. Like it's a fairly serious conversation. She's like, no, I'm not on drugs. No, I'm not fooling around. And it's like, it's an elevated scene for this type of movie. I think it's actually kind of nice. And then she's like, we have 4 puppies.
Yeah.
But Bonnie Hunt's the reaction cut that they have is just amazing. It's why she's America's mom. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it cuts immediately to a dinner scene, which I think is the bread and butter of the Beethoven movies, where the whole family has a secret, a dog-related secret that they're trying to hide from Charles Grodin.
That scene was so great. Because, you're hearing the dogs barking in the basement, and they're all trying to, like, do stuff to cover it up, and then...
They're coughing, and Beethoven's in on it, too. He's going like, Arf!
Yeah. And it ends with this like amazing bit of Foley that happens here. I got it here because I just thought this was so funny. Because eventually Charles Grodin's like, I think that's in the basement. I'm gonna go check it out. But we stay with the family at the dinner table.
They don't even try to stop him. At that point, they're like, the jig is up.
And we just hear this.
Oh no!
Like the footsteps and the light turning on. It's so great.
Amazing.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I mean, can you imagine like what he first thought before they told him the entire story? Just that his family brought 4 new puppies in there, like for no reason, like not even like because how is he gonna assume? Oh, these are Beethoven's a dude, you know?
Right.
Like it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if you can explain it, really.
Yeah, I don't even know how the kids found out. They're just like, there's that scene where they're like, I think Beethoven has a girlfriend because he's been sneaking out of the house every day. Like, how did they jump to that conclusion?
Right.
I don't know. Dogs just do that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, knowing Beethoven and his understanding of contract law from the previous movie, like he could have been, doing arbitration.
That's true.
Yeah, we find out more about how Beethoven like straight up knows English. Cabin and Rice is, all sad about the dude that doesn't like her, and she's talking about to her dad about a time that they had a long distance relationship because they were in college, and Beethoven's listening to this like, yeah, long distance relationships are hard.
So we were talking in the last episode when we thought that the series would break down and have Beethoven speak like actual English. And does him barking at the drive-through attendant in this movie count?
Yeah.
No, it did not have a CG mouth movement.
Well, no, I know, but we're on the path to full speech.
The guy at McDonald's understands. Yeah.
Yeah. He has barked. A order has been taken. They have gotten him a burger.
Message was received.
Yeah, he doesn't even go like, whoa, that's a dog. He's just like, oh, cheeseburger? All right. Side of fries too? Yep. Okay.
Speaking of McDonald's, this movie had a ton of product placement. Like I think the first one had like Iams or whatever, but this one has like Cheetos, McDonald's, another dog food. It has all sorts of Milk-Bone. That's another one. Yeah. All sorts of stuff. Like constantly.
That was like the biggest bag of Cheetos I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And the wrong color, right? Like,
Yeah.
It was like vintage Cheetos
the
bag.
total set, total prop.
I don't remember them looking like that in the 90s in like paper bags.
Yeah, it looked like it was like a dog food size bag.
No, like 90s, like 93, like that was pure like Chester Cheetos, like Joe Camel, like in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Era.
It was weird. It was weird.
I did like that scene, like that was the Cheetos thing was early on in the movie where we're seeing Beethoven like in his routine around the house, and he was just trying to find more food, and he had like all these secret hiding places for different snacks around the house, like an alcoholic hiding booth.
Yeah. And it came after that fun dream sequence that we didn't talk about in the beginning.
There's a couple dream sequences in this movie.
That's true.
We have to talk about the dream sequence because like it's Beethoven's dream where people just keep bringing him more meat.
Yeah, bigger and bigger cuts of steak.
Until Charles Grodin comes out with like a Looney Tunes size, really gross looking giant prop of like a T-bone.
Yeah,
like a dinosaur steak.
Yeah,
from the Flintstones.
Yeah, like a Flintstones T-bone.
Yeah. It looks like plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at some point, Charles Grodin has a dream where the house has been completely taken over by dogs, which must have been, I'm guessing, like the last thing they shot on the last day.
Oh my God.
And they were like, just bring all the dogs. We're going to spray them all down and let them loose in the house. And you got to walk in and start screaming.
Oh, no.
No.
I was like, and Charles Grodin is mostly just doing like exasperated screams throughout this movie. Like,
yeah.
No.
Except for the times where he's doing like weird dances. And like he is also like there's a lot of like fun dad energy in this.
That part was
like,
really
not
cute,
fun
I
dad.
thought.
Yeah.
That part was really cute.
even though he's still kind of the, uptight dad, they kind of, continue his character growth from the first movie, and they talk a little bit about, how they found love and all that. So it's cute.
There's one.
So we talked already about Beethoven getting all like thoughtful about long distance relationships. So he goes out on the balcony and the song begins.
Yeah, well, the part when they're in the balcony was very. I was like, oh, they're about to sing "Somewhere Out There" to each other, staring at the moon. And it's funny because the song is sung by James Ingram and Dolly Parton, and James Ingram did the like pop version of "Somewhere Out There."
Yeah,
from that movie.
There's only a few people that got to do this kind of thing in the '90s. It's like James Ingram, Peebo Bryson, like Celine Dion, Natalie Cole, all these people, Regina Bell. But anyways, this song was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, which
Did
is
Diane
nuts.
Warren write it? Who wrote it?
It's written by here, I can pull it up somewhere quick.
While you're looking that up, it's completely self-serious
oh my God.
for almost the entire song until it gets to a bridge where Dolly Parton goes, "Roll over Beethoven,"
Yeah.
like for no reason, completely out of nowhere, and then the song continues.
That was so funny to me because I was like, oh God, they just like license. I thought like they licensed some like cheesy love song, and then when that comes in, I was like, oh God, this was written for the movie. No, why? So it was written by Carol Bayer Sager, Cliff Magnus, and James Ingram. Yeah.
Okay.
And that year it was nominated. It was up against 2 songs from The Lion King. Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Circle of Life, and then a song from the movie With Honors called I'll Remember. And it lost to Streets of Philadelphia, Bruce Springsteen, which is a great song.
Oh,
wait,
wow.
Really?
Tough.
Circle of Life didn't win?
Circle of Life didn't win. It says this is 1995. Yeah.
But Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I would think that would have won.
But it won Best Score. Lion King won Best Score, right?
Yeah, this is just for Best Song Written for Media or whatever it was called at that time.
Because I'm pretty sure Elton John won an Oscar, right?
I don't know.
I thought so, but I could be wrong.
I'm looking at it right here.
Maybe was there a soundtrack? Did they do?
It might have been. It was.
Song?
Yeah. It was. This is just for a song written for.
Huh. Okay. Well, it also was nominated for the Golden Globe and the Grammy, so it must have been a rough year as far as songs and movies. Although it is a very beautiful song. It's just the part where she goes, "Roll over Beethoven." I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think she says, "Roll over Beethoven, come play with me," or something like that. And it's just like, oh, no. Please.
I mean, Dolly Parton has a great sense of humor, so she probably thought it was hilarious. But yeah,
as funny as we think it is, like we said, it was nominated for an Oscar. So there you go.
Good song. Yeah, it's very catchy. I remembered it for sure. Anyway, so then we get back to the story of Rice, and she meets, in a possibly ironic twist, the good guy who's not a rapist is played by
actual rapist,
famous rapist Danny Masterson.
Yeah. Oh God. I was like, why? No. She's got no good choices here.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So yeah, he's the good guy, but she still goes after the bad guy too. And we got to talk about this house party
Taylor
scene.
Devereaux. Yeah, I love this because she happens upon a party where there is unsuitable teen behavior happening, which is what is listed.
Oh, is that in the rating?
Yeah, at the beginning of the credits, it says PG for unsuitable teen behavior.
Amazing.
And we don't really know her exact age, but I swear to God, she looks like 13 or 14, and this guy still looks in his 20s, and everyone at the party looks super old. They're trying to get her to drink.
30.
Yeah, they're trying to get her to drink, and it's this big balcony over the lake that precariously looks like it's only held up by one beam.
Yep.
And she ties Beethoven to the beam, and I'm like, oh my God, is this really gonna, like, I couldn't remember.
Yes.
And I was like, ah. And so they're trying to get her to drink, and then he insists on taking her, to see the bedroom or whatever. And she goes in and she walks to the window, and this guy, I was watching this with my roommate, the guy locks the door, and we both yell out, Oh my God. He he locks it with a key and locks the actual doorknob. And I was like, who is he? Matt Lauer? Like, this is insane. Like,
and this is a Beethoven movie. Why is this happening?
I know. Like the first Beethoven movie has a child drowning. This movie has a date rape scene. It's just
my God. And then when she's like, no, I want to leave. He's like, oh, don't worry. Like, you're going to enjoy it. And he doesn't let up at all.
He like does a thing where he like flips the key ring.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the keys. And it's like, oh God.
It's so messed up.
I mean, thank God. We know Beethoven is psychic when the kids are in trouble, but the reason that he ends up just ruining the entire multi-million-dollar lake house balcony is because these other kids are pouring beer on him.
Yeah, a bunch of townies are fucking with him.
Yeah, not cool.
He's not
but
gonna
I'm
take
sure
line
that
down.
any minute he would have also heard the psychic sadness of
Yes,
Rice
the psychic
and come to the rescue.
He even like when they first walk up to the party and she looks at it, he's like, nah, let's leave. And like tries to get her to leave. He knows, man. He knows.
Yeah.
And so this balcony, I mean, how did they do this? Like, there's like a lot of people that fall off this thing.
It's
this
awesome.
is a great time to talk about, like, there's some stunts in this movie. Like, there's a lot of stuff where people, like, there's some impressive things that happen, especially later on with this mountain chase that happens. But yeah, like, they pulled this balcony out, and it looks like there's at least 10 stunt performers doing a fall from this balcony into the lake. And there's one giant stunt of the Taylor Devereaux character, doing a front flip, basically falling out as they play the Howie scream.
And I mean,
is this that lake house at Universal, like over the tank there, or is it like, how do they do? I don't know. It must have been expensive.
For some reason in my head, it was like at Lake Arrowhead or Big Bear, but I don't know if that's actually true.
It said they filmed in Montana, like the mountain stuff. So
I
don't
great.
know.
I'm wrong.
I don't know if that was where it was too. But.
Yeah, I got the Arrowhead vibe too. I was like, I was trying to see if that's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's in Montana. Maybe they just bought like some foreclosed lake house and then we're like, make it look nice from one angle and then we're going to destroy it or whatever and sell the property. I don't know, but it was very impressive. I was like, wow.
And that scream is just so hilarious.
It really is.
I almost spit out my drink when that happened because we have a friend who just has that scream like on shortcut on his phone. So he plays it all the time like, yeah, and it's so funny.
Yeah, it's a famous sound library scream. It's the Howie scream. It's named after Howie Long's death in Broken Arrow, but it actually appeared 16 years before that in like a 1980s action movie. It's like the Wilhelm scream, like you know it when you hear it.
And it's just funny because it's so fake. Like why you use that scream to just make people laugh, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it fits the film at all.
No.
So let's get to the carnival because this is your big moment.
That's
Kasey.
right.
Oh, please. Let's please get there.
Charles Grodin's in full fun dad mode where he's eating French fries. They're at a fair and he's just like, I gotta eat more French fries.
It's like, oh my God, cheeseburger. Yeah, nachos. Yeah. So funny.
The family's struggling because they have all the dogs on leashes and these evil, like the first movie, the evil archetype of 90s business people. Or they're so angry and they hate all these common folks and families. But, what else are you going to do up in the woods? Let's go to the fair.
Yeah, they're still going to be out with all the
Leave
people.
the expensive dog in the car.
Well, yeah, because they don't give two shits about that dog.
Yeah. Yes.
And what are the odds that they're at the same mountain getaway as apparently everyone else in that town goes to that same place? But
just textbook star-crossed lovers of.
Of course, they're in the same area.
So yeah, we have a bully moment where Beethoven helps the son stand up to bullies to impress some random girl. And
it's a girl from
That's
previously.
not a
And also Ivan Reitman's daughter.
Exactly.
Okay. She was in the other movie too?
I don't think no, she's an earlier scene in the movie.
In this movie. Yeah.
Where she's like, aren't I kind of tall for you?
I was glad that Ted finally got to have this moment because I was feeling so bad for him. Because the first movie he's getting picked on by bullies. This movie, there's the scene where they're like choosing people to play baseball and they pick everyone but him and then pick a girl, which apparently was off limits for whatever reason, but they did it anyways.
Well, and also the lineup of the kids, like he is a foot or two shorter than everybody else, like all the other kids.
It's like no one else gets picked on. That kid gets picked on throughout both films.
Also, I don't think girls start caring about height until much later because they just know, like, inherently that you're going to be taller than almost every guy.
Yeah. She was, ahead of her time, I guess.
Yeah.
But then we get to it almost feels like an interlude in this movie where it's like, okay, well, now we're going to have this burger eating contest, which I want to know if this was ever a thing anywhere of like a man dog, like food eating contest.
So I'm probably somewhere, but
Yeah.
it seems like unhealthy for the dog and human. But
Terrible.
people seem to probably care more about dogs being like, oh, why are you feeding that to your dog? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but because of the aforementioned French fry gorging, like Charles Grodin, he's not feeling it. He's not,
I love that the kids are like, we signed you up for a contest where all you have to do is sit there. You don't got to do nothing. He's like, what kind of contest do you just sit there and do nothing? I thought it was going to be a thing where like Beethoven was so good he was going to eat all the hamburgers.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But that's not the case.
But no, it took him being egged on by the bullies that Kasey decided to sit next to. Bully adjacent, calling them slobberface, where like Charles Grodin's like, nobody calls my dog slobberface.
Except me.
Yeah, the things they were pointing out were really lame. Like, look at the drool on that dog. Like, what do you expect? It's a fucking dog, kid. I don't know. So Kasey,
They win.
Yeah, what was that day like? Was it like a whole day? Was it multiple days doing that, or?
Good question. I think, man, I don't know. It probably was a couple days. I actually don't remember because there were there was one of the scenes when they were throwing, like one of the guys was playing the carnival games. I think I was in that and ended up making it. So I feel like that was probably one day. And then second unit step. So I think that was at least like 3 or 4 days out there.
Dang.
So maybe, yeah, I don't remember how long that's a lot of footage.
How many? Yeah.
It was multiple days. It had to have been multiple days because now I'm thinking like my dad didn't just come out for one day. I think it was maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
That's not.
That must have been a fun scene to watch with people just like eating cheeseburgers.
Oh,
and like
man.
painful, like feel so bad.
God.
How gross.
Yeah.
If there's any scene like that, if you're watching a movie, pity the actors because
my God.
there is no substitute for just having that food. The food gets cold. There's all this resets. Like it is nightmarish.
Yeah, and they have footage of him just going to town on some cheeseburgers, like in weird ways too.
Yep.
Like eating it like a circle. I don't know. It's like eating around the edges first. Ugh, gross. Very gross.
But while this is all happening, Beethoven plans a cunning escape.
He just walks away as usual.
Yeah. He finds Missy and they like fuck off to the mountains for whatever reason.
And then Regina, classic villain name also, by the way, she takes the 4 puppies literally out of the kids' hands. I love it when the dad was like who takes puppies away from children?
Yeah, she's a bad
They have
person.
to chase after them. And then we get our little mini version of Beethoven the Hunted here, like Benji the Hunted, and they're all running through the woods and the rocks and up the trees. And
Regina's using the puppies to like track down, like the puppies have like mother sense of like homing in.
Well, they can just smell her, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can smell Beethoven too. She had them smell the ribbon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
And then they very excitedly find some puppy poop.
It's like this is a very necessary scene that we need to have here. We need to know how close we are to the puppies. So touch that poop. See if it's warm. Like, why was that in the movie?
It's a really slow motion, and then there's like the macro like close up of like the fingers actually going in like one side, and then Charles Grodin's just like, wash your hands, but we're on a mountain, so you can't. So
Floyd has an incident where his head hits a log stump in which he would have instantly died.
Oh, like this is some of the stunt stuff I'm talking about. Like there's some like really impressive falls and things like that. I do like Floyd. I will say one thing that they cut away from the eating of all the grossness I'm talking about from the eating competition to a shot of him eating, and then they cut back. And I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah, when that thing with Floyd happened, I actually was like, oh, because he lands like so suddenly in this log, and I'm like, oh my god! I actually
Skull cracked,
yeah,
spine broken.
Yep.
There's no way he's walking away with that
dead
log on
for
his
sure.
head.
And there's amazing, like they even do like a wide shot of him where he's like his whole upper body is like, or the lower body, I guess, is like up in the air, awkwardly. But he survives,
Crazy.
Unfortunately. But
amazing.
Yeah. And then they have the big confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
And I vividly remember the scene where he's holding the puppy over the waterfall and they're saying, put down the puppy. And he's going, you want me to put her down? I vividly remember that. I was like, wow. I don't even have dogs. I've never had dogs. That scene is horrifying.
Yeah. There's a lot of like the villains to be a villain in a Beethoven movie. Like you really have to be willing to commit some animal cruelty, like some felony level animal cruelty. Because he's just like, I'll do it. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I'll kill this puppy.
They eventually, the two villains fall into a pit of mud and like become covered in mud. And I was like, wow, Justin, we just paid to do that in Costa Rica not too long ago.
So this fall, like they're on top of a waterfall, basically, and so they get knocked off because Beethoven grabs a stick and hits Chris Penn in the balls with it.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Beethoven villain, you're gonna get hit in the balls by a dog at some point. And they fall, and it cuts wide, and it's a big fall. It's like, holy shit! Like they would die. And then not only do they not fall into the water, they fall into like a smaller, shallower, rocky mud pit where it's just like, yes, it's funny that they're in mud, but again, dead.
I love that it takes a second for them to come up, and like the family looks over the edge, and I'm like, oh, they're just like, well, we just killed those people.
Yeah, and Bonnie Hunt's like, don't worry, we're gonna help you. And then the dam breaks, and they're all just like,
too far, I can't reach you. You're good, right? Yeah.
I think they determined that the river becomes pretty shallow going forward, so they'll be able to walk out all right. But when they were stuck in that pitch, like, we're gonna help you, and then there's like, nah.
Yeah, they cut the scene where she checked the wilderness map.
So funny.
Man. And again, we get another nice wrap up, like watching them on the TV of the persecution of Dean Jones after his multi-syringe death, where he's just like, oh, like, nope, the judge threw out the case. Like, I get to keep the dog. Everything's fine.
Now the dog can come over and, visit the puppies and Beethoven all the time.
Yeah, and the family's plan from the beginning to keep the puppies until they're grown and then find them homes is a stupid plan. Because the time where you're going to get rid of St. Bernards is when they are small, cute little puppies, and you dupe someone into thinking, I can handle this, Yeah. You can't get rid of them once they're like as big as they were in that ending scene, but whatever.
Yeah, that was really fun though. There was one other scene I wanted to mention that I thought there was this like one little moment between Bonnie Hunt and Charles Grodin that was so funny to me when they're first like trying to convince George to keep the puppies. Rice is like, well, I was good when I was a kid, right? And Charles Grodin's like, and then Bonnie Hunt has this amazing look like, yeah, you were fine. And it's just like, you could tell that like she was a handful. Yeah. And that was just like a great little moment of performance there that I wanted to point out.
So I did not do this last week, so let me do the child star check-in because, spoiler alert, this is the last time we're going to see these kids. So Nicole Tom is still acting. She's around. She was like in Masters of Sex, and she's been on a bunch of other TV shows. And her sister's in soaps and wins Emmys all the time and all that.
Nice.
Christopher Castile, he is a teacher at Downey High School and a professor at Biola. Wow. I emailed him. He did not answer. So, you know, whatever. And then Sarah Rose Carr has apparently kind of just like disappeared. She didn't want to be in the public eye. It came out that she graduated from New College in Florida in 2009, I think, with a degree in math and economics. But since then, no one has found anything about her.
Which college?
New College?
Oh, I get that it's new, but which one was it?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's what's up with them.
Nice. I'm sad that we're going to be losing them. That doesn't bode well for us. But hey, that's what we do.
Yeah,
You never know. They could come back. They're not going to be the main part of it.
All right. Well, Tyler, you want to do a rating system?
I think so, although I don't have one off the top of my head, so if somebody else has one, I mean, I think I would be like bowl of burgers, but...
How many giant buckets of burgers?
Yeah, buckets of burgers. Yeah, how many buckets of burgers would you give Beethoven's second?
I'm going to give it 8 buckets of burgers because I gave the other one 9, so I don't want to go down that much. And
out of how many buckets?
10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just like this movie. I remember it a lot more than the first one, but it does have more problematic areas than the first one did, I think, including obviously back then it was whatever, like it wasn't appropriate then either, but it was more common to have this like really horrifying rape attempt.
Yeah.
And I think, the villains are not quite as good as Dean Jones and Tooch were in the first one. But yeah, I mean the song is great, and the puppy, how can you be mad at puppies?
Puppies are so cute.
Yeah.
Justin?
You know what? I think I'm going to give it the same as the first one, 7. I think I thought this one was just about as fun. It has more puppies in it, which I think is a plus. They're so cute. The puppies are so dang cute. And I did kind of like that there was this whole section in the beginning that was just like Beethoven's life. Here's Beethoven doing what he wants to do. I agree with you, Eliz, that the villains are not as good. Unfortunately, they're like way more cartoony. I guess the vet was kind of cartoonishly evil, but these ones are more like goofy cartoon characters.
Yeah, I mean, there's a set piece where he has Chris Penn has a stump on his head.
Yeah.
They just don't have as good of a plan, too.
Right.
No.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, why go through all this
not
trouble?
clear what Dean Jones's plan was, other than to shoot a dog in the face.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I think this one is pretty fun. It's great that the entire cast is back. Randy Edelman's back doing the score again. I think it's another fun time if you like the first one.
I'm going to give it 7 buckets of burgers, which is one less than I gave the first one. I think that it's great to see all the characters. There's some fun stuff in it. There's some awesome dog stunts and some actual really cool stunt work. I think there's a lot of scenes that just kind of seem like those were fun. Like we want to have this scene in there, and then they're kind of apropos of nothing, and then they go away, which kind of was like, huh? But aside from that, I think that it's a fun movie, and I think that by the end of this, I will be begging for Beethoven's second.
Yeah.
Probably.
Kasey, what about you?
I'll go 7. Yeah, rewatching it. Yeah, I was entertained and seemed pretty solid. Silly.
Of course,
7.
Your performance, we all give 10 buckets.
10 buckets,
of burgers.
Yeah,
of course.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Although, going back to it, if it is the source of that dream, 0 buckets. Fuck this movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that, Tyler.
Well, I guess that's going to be it for Beethoven's second. We're going to be heading into Beethoven's third. I don't know how many years in between. This was 1 year.
I know nothing about the third one.
This could be a decade. I guess we'll find out next week. But until then, Eliz, where can people get in touch with us?
Yeah, send us an email to sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcast. It does actually help. So please go ahead and do that.
All right. Well, Kasey, thank you so much for being here with us this week. It was fun to hear
Thanks
from
for
you.
the invite. What a treat. So
Is
fun hanging with you all.
there anything you want to plug before you leave?
I mean, you're gonna want to bring me back for when you do Space Jam.
Oh yes,
Oh.
let's do it.
We have to.
There's a
That'll
new
get
one
all
coming.
plugged.
There's a new one coming. So yeah,
Yep.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
It'll be our
Couple
chance.
years. Couple years we'll revisit this.
Yeah, whenever that movie comes out, who knows?
What a teaser.
Yeah, excited. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's going to bring us to the end. We'll see whether or not the Newton family next week learns to never go into a montage again. That's when all the crazy stuff happens to them. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week for... Beethoven's Third. I know it's the fifth. It doesn't matter. It's just, that's the only song they use.
No.
That's the only song they use. They're not actually playing the right symphonies. Jeez. See you guys.
Just an ordinary day. Started out the same old way. Then I looked into your eyes and knew today would be a first for me. The day I fall in love.
On the day I fall in love, sky will be a perfect blue, and I'll give my heart forevermore to someone who is just like you. The day I fall in love.
People all say love is wonderful, that the bells will ring, the birds will sing, the skies will open. I wonder where's that great big symphony